All right, welcome back everybody. My name is Pritesh here with Kaizen Crypto, bringing you another video. So I hope you guys are all doing well. Yesterday was such an exciting event. We had the Cardano360 March edition. Quite a jam-packed update video, over 3 hours worth of content talking about all the cool things that are being worked on with the Cardano project. So in this video today, I'm going to go over some of the key topics that were discussed in that product update video, and hopefully just being able to give you an idea of what we can expect moving forward. So if you guys do find some value from this video here today, please be sure to drop a like for me. Also, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe and be sure to click that notification bell so you know exactly when I post a new video. So to get things started, I know a lot of people are expecting when Alonzo, right? Everybody is anticipating a full Goguen release. I think that's what's on a lot of people's minds. So we didn't get an official date just yet. We were given some information on what the rollout actually looks like. According to Charles Hoskinson, we're expecting a Alonzo hard fork likely by the end of July. So we're going to go into that in more detail here in this video. There was some slides presented. So what I'm going to do is just talk over some of those slides and share with you all some of my thoughts and go into some details on what we can expect in the months ahead. So to get things started, we had the opportunity to hear from the first female stake pool operator on Cardano. So a big shout out to Shweta Chauhan. She is the first female stake pool operator on Cardano. She was just recently featured on Forbes 30 Under 30 as one of the 30 most inspirational women. So a big kudos to her. She was able to shout out some of the lady stake pool operators of Cardano. So here we have the names and the tickers of some of the female stake pool operators that are currently running stake pools on Cardano. So lots of love to all the female stake pool operators out there. You guys are truly pioneers and you're paving the way to this new financial revolution. So big thank you to Shweta Chauhan. You did an amazing job. It was really great to hear your opening speech on the Cardano360. Next up, we had some more information related to developer tools. So some of the cool things that IOG is working on are going to be partnerships with people such as runtime verification, and they're also working on things such as developing frameworks for developers who don't necessarily have programming experience in a language such as, say, Solidity or what we see with Plutus and Haskell. Let's say, for instance, if you're a developer who wants to write smart contracts on blockchain, but let's say, for instance, you're a JavaScript developer. What you can do with some of these frameworks is you can take your existing skills and use that using these frameworks and tools to be able to write these applications on Cardano, essentially creating a way for developers of all skill sets and all expertise levels to begin to write these applications. Very interesting to see that. There was quite a few pieces of information there as far as their partners and talking more about what they're building. So lots of cool things happening there for developers. I think that the tools that are going to be available for developers are really something they're focusing now that we're going to start to see smart contracts later this year. Speaking about smart contracts, a very highly anticipated, we saw the roadmap to Alonzo. So Charles Hoskinson was able to give us some information on what we're going to expect throughout that process as we go through the testnet for these developers and then seeing that rolled over onto the mainnet. What we expect as far as what was presented here in this update video, there is intended to be a code freeze by the end of June, essentially making it so that there's no further updates. You pretty much have a product and you're ready to deploy it onto mainnet. What they're going to do then is give time for their partners and exchanges to be able to update their infrastructure. This also goes true for stake pool operators. So if you run a stake pool, being able to update your Cardano node so that it's supported during the HFC event. So you have about 4 to 6 weeks after this code freeze at the end of June, which would tentatively mark a Alonzo hard fork combinator date for end of July. So we're expecting end of July for full Plutus functionality with the Alonzo hard fork on the Cardano blockchain. So things are definitely moving quickly. I know that it may not be as soon as a lot of people anticipated, but with what they're doing, they are going through the process very methodically. So there is definitely a rhyme behind the reason here for keeping these dates in check So we'll be sure to keep you guys posted on those developments as we get closer to that date. Next up, we saw a very cool demonstration from Vuk and showing us a example of a Uniswap clone, or an idea similar to Uniswap on Cardano, essentially a DEX.
After years of work, I'm honored to be able to demo the first app running on Bluetooth smart contracts. So what I have here is the Bluetooth application backend that is running for wallets. I'm mainly going to use Wallet 1 to provide liquidity to a liquidity pool, and Wallet 3 to actually use that liquidity to swap one token to another. What we can see here is the 4 wallets that are running. I'm going to focus on Wallet 3 because I want to convert ADA to token A. So Wallet 3 has 1 million tokens of type A, B, C, and D. And after the demo, what we want to have is we want to see this million tokens increased by the number of tokens that we swap from ADA to that particular token. So if we go to the UI is basically going to call the Bluetooth application backend. And since those are running on the same machine right now, the request is going to be very fast. But when we have the Bluetooth application backend that is interacting with the node, it's going to be a bit slower because then we need to also wait for the network to get to consensus and for the transaction to actually be propagated. Now, let's swap 100 ADA to AGI. And you can see here that my balance did update. Now, what we want to do is we want to check whether wallet 3 state did change from 1 million token A to 1 million and something token A. So basically, since we did convert like 100, it should be 500 more. So I have some scripts ready that I can use. So the first one that we need to run is get balance, which is basically gonna just get the funds of that particular wallet. It's gonna be stored in memory. And the next thing that we want to do is actually take that state from in memory and write it down to a file. Let's run get balance. So it went through, we got an empty array back. This means that the request was successful. And let's see what the query script does, which basically is just taking the state and it's outputting that into output JSON file. Currently we have no files. We should see like a file called output.json once we execute this command. So let's do that. And we can see output.json, and output.json was generated basically now. So if we go to output.json, we can see that the balance was increased from 1 million to 1,498,000. And we're missing 2 AGI, mainly because there is some slippage involved when using liquidity pools. Now, let's try to convert another 100 ADA. And let's do the same and let's see whether it actually changes. We need to do get balance again, and then we need to actually output that into a file again. Let's see whether the file was changed. Yeah, the file was changed, but now let's see whether the state did change, and as you can see, the state did change again. So yeah, I'm so happy to actually be able to demo this, mainly because this is just the beginning. In fact, some of the logic that was written for this demo was written yesterday, and I spent like most of the night actually trying to get to this. Thanks, and yeah, I hope to see many developers actually interacting with the Bluetooth application backend in a similar way and building great apps for the ecosystem. Thanks, bye.
So pretty awesome to see that it's going to be as seamless as it was to be able to swap tokens on Cardano. Another topic that was discussed as it relates to some of the parameters, what we're seeing as far as the decentralization of the Cardano blockchain. We are a go for D equals 0 on March 31st. Essentially, with D equals 0, 100% of blocks on the Cardano blockchain are going to be produced by community stake pools. Some of the other parameters that were discussed include K, which is the maximum pool size, A0, which is relative to the pledge, and some of the fees that we see charged by stake pool operators. So in regards to the A0 parameter, we got to hear from Sean McMurdo, who is one of the community members that's been very engaged as it relates to Cardano improvement proposals. What we're anticipating with the changes to some of these parameters, later this year, we're expecting to see a change in A naught, and followed by that, we would expect to see a change in K. Currently, K is the desired number of stake pools, right now set at 500. We're anticipating a change of K to 1000 after we see the change in the A naught parameter. And as far as the A naught parameter changing, we did see the SIP proposal from Sean McMurdo, where he talked about a curved influence factor for pledge. So making it so that it's non-linear, but rather it's got a curved benefit to those who are able to put more skin in the game, so to speak, to contribute to stake pool rewards. So lots of interesting things there as far as the parameters. We are expecting some of those to change later this year. Definitely going to be sure to keep you all posted with those as well. One of the other implementations as it relates to the overall network is going to be peer-to-peer. As far as how stake pool operators currently connect to other peers on the network, they use a configured list of peers on the Cardano network. You can have this, or you can either have a script that would automate the process for you. The difference between what we have now and peer-to-peer is that instead of having to manually go in and tell the node which peers to connect to, peer-to-peer would allow for the node automatically looking for other relays on the network. So they have a roadmap here of what that process would actually look like. Currently, as it relates to their progress with peer-to-peer, we are expecting internal peer-to-peer testing in early Q2 of this year. So something that they are also taking their time with to make sure that it's done correctly. Peer-to-peer, another important step as we see full decentralization for Cardano. This next slide shows us some of the progress that is being made on things such as Project Catalyst. Project Catalyst now is considered to be the world's largest DAO. So a DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization, essentially giving people from all over the world the ability to vote and participate on the future progress of the Cardano blockchain. What we've seen recently is an exponential rise in the number of IdeaScale members. Cardano.ideascale.com is where you're going to go to be able to see all these proposals which are being submitted by members in the community. Another great thing to see is how global and diverse this community really is. Over 104 countries and 17,000 people engaged on IdeaScale, coming from all over the world. Really amazing to see the outreach of this project and to think that we are still in the early days. As it relates to the Cardano treasury, nearly $500 million in ADA for Project Catalyst funds in the Cardano treasury. What we've seen is truly, with the rise in price, an exponential growth of the amount that's available for people who are interested in building on Cardano. As it relates to the partnerships being made by the parent companies IOG, Emergo, and the Cardano Foundation, now we see that Cardano has over 150 world-class partners. One of those very prominent partners is going to be SingularityNet. Dr. Ben Gortzel, the CEO of SingularityNet, had the opportunity to speak with Dr. Mihaela Uleru discussing AI and a domain-specific language for SingularityNet and Cardano. So lots of cool things happening there. I'm a big fan of what they're doing with AGI at SingularityNet. We even got a chance to hear from Sophia, who gave the outro on the Cardano360 and announced her work on NFTs and in the art world. Let's go ahead and hear from Sophia, the AI robot.
Greetings, humans. Sophia the robot here. I have been rather busy lately, so let me give you a quick rundown. I have broadened my horizon in the visual arts. Be sure to check out my latest artwork in our latest NFT drop. You can expect a lot more where that came from. I also have a new project called Sophia DAO, which features open source, beneficial AI and creative arts of every kind, and a lot more. I am expanding my own brain as well. There are lots of exciting new developments with Hanson Robotics AI systems, and we are closely working with SingularityNet and IOHK. Oh, and I'm getting a new little sister, Grace, but I'll tell you more about her work in the medical world later. Finally, I am really looking forward to my chat next month with Cardano creator Charles Hoskinson. We'll keep posted. All the best from Hong Kong.
All right, everyone. So there was a lot of information talked about here in this product update. We definitely went through a very high level of some of the key topics that were discussed. If you haven't checked it out yet, and if you do want to check out the entire episode, please be sure to check out the link down in the description. I think you'll really enjoy it, and you'll be able to see all the things that were discussed in this product update. As far as some of my thoughts before we close out for today, really excited to see all the developments happening with Cardano. I know that there's a lot of people that are ready to start to build on Cardano once we have the ability to write smart contracts. Something I'm excited about is to see the amount of participation with the Plutus Pioneers program. They had quite a few people already sign up to get started with this. So developers now looking to get trained on Plutus, getting the experience needed so that they can write these smart contracts on Cardano. Very exciting to hear that the Alonzo hard fork combinator expected end of July. I think that people are going to begin to understand what's going to be built here as it comes to all the innovation happening from Catalyst, what we're going to see with smart contracts, potentially porting over from Ethereum. It's going to be quite an exciting year. So those are just some of the things that I'm looking forward to as it relates to the developments happening with Cardano. Of course, you guys know we talk about Cardano a lot here on the channel. So if you do want to stay up to date with all the things relative to that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It definitely does mean a lot. All right, everyone, that is what I have for you all here in this video today. I really do hope that you enjoyed it. Hopefully you do find some value from these types of videos. If you did, please be sure to drop a like before you head out, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.